You had best strap yourself for yourself. INR this one, since the recent online sensation sent the entire culture into a tailspin. The RTER scale is a 5. As fresh leaks, screenshots, and a ton of jumbled receipts emerge from the vault, fans are in utter shock over the profound, never-before-seen drama involving Asian doll, Lil Durk, and the late King Von's family. And by exposed, we mean backdoor tactics, betrayals, falsehoods, and secrets that could permanently alter your perception of some of your favorite people. The Von Durk story burst once more just as the hip-hop community believed it had finally calmed. The accusations are sorry that Lil Durk wasn't the devoted comrade you all believed him to be. Now the blood relatives of King Von are speaking up and ending their quiet. And they're not holding back, darling. During a conversation about y'all don't even know the half, what really went down after Von passed? What was hidden from fans for all these years? And why are people now calling Lil Durk fake and foul? Annie herself and an Asian doll named Sis dropped a bombshell that left everyone speechless. The rabbit hole deepens. It all began when an enigmatic Instagram story from an account purporting to be close to King Val's cousin, Moaning, appeared late one evening. The screenshots had already gone viral by the time the post was up, which was only up for an hour at most. Von didn't even fabulate him at the end of the tale, which included a fuzzy picture of Lil Durk with the statement, "Your hero ain't who y'all think he is." Inquire with Asians. Fans immediately began to speculate. What were they trying to say? Did Von and Lil Durk actually have a feud behind the scenes? Bashvan knew it was popular within hours. Spaces on Twitter came alive. Old interviews and body language analyses were uncovered by TKOS NTIK2KERS.S. One fan even showed an old live of Von and Durk, in which Von glanced away. Wary but not angry. After Asian Doll went live the following morning, people started to wonder, was their relationship really as solid as it seemed? TikTokers. At that point, things took a sharp left. Sis, who is usually outspoken, appeared hurt. Her energy was heavy and her eyes were down. Fans filled the comments pleading for her to speak. After she began the live stream by saying, "I wasn't going to speak on this, but since people want to throw hints, I'ma tell why I'm going to woo all the truth. All of it." The entire story was turned upside down by what she said next. "Before dating going to dad passed away, Von told me a lot of things," she remarked softly. "I can't keep protecting people who aren't protecting him, even if I said I wouldn't say some things." Then she stopped. "I was there, dad there. I saw it. Durk wasn't around like that. People assumed they were best buddies or something. No, things changed when Von left the last time." Asian said there were moments when Von was attempting to contact Durk and he didn't respond. Like how you pretend this is your twin but can't pick up when he truly needs you. Some fans were in shock, while others said they always thought something seemed wrong. She made further startling accusations as the live stream went on, claiming that Von felt used to be liked by some but not by others, and that industry people were attempting to persuade Von to sign away specific rights, and Durk did nothing to stop them. She fought back tears as she remarked, "He felt like he didn't have anybody real in his corner. I was the only one and his family." King Von's sister, Kayla B, entered the ring just when everyone thought things couldn't get much messier. "She loved clout more than she ever loved my brother. We ain't there. Aren't going to do this today?" Kayla immediately jumped on her narrative and poured shade, but fans knew precisely who that was directed at. Minutes later, Asian clapped back, writing, "How did you have so much to say, but you kept quiet when he needed you all? Don't mess with me." The back and forth became so intense that it was immediately picked up by several blogs. Let's say that Cheese and Forthies posted it. The Shade Room became involved. Even people in the industry began to make subtle remarks. Gerbo enjoyed live Asians. 600 Breezy left a mysterious comment on Kayla's profile. The story's cracks were starting to appear and the strain was mounting. Later that night, a voice memo was made public from an unnamed individual claiming to be Vance's black pal. I was with Vaughn the night before he left for Atlanta. Bro was venting. He felt like Durk ain't cheese wars on trite for him, like he should have. Like wasn't thav. Ben. All those songs all have Ben. Songs and that my brother talk. It was just for cameras. The obviously emotional voice on the recording stated. All of a sudden, people began to reevaluate everything. Was the vitality of the twins only a brand? Does Durk profit off Vaughn's legacy without paying him any respect? One thread even brought back a remark from Van's Twitter weeks prior to his death that said, "Loyalty comes with limits." Because of the eerie tone and the timing, fans thought it was directed at Durk when he rapped. Bro told me, keep my circle tight. Keep tight, but his one tight. He's the thought cut me. Asian Doll posted the snippet to her story with 3 words. Y'all ready yet? But Lil Durk says that Island. There were no tweets, statements, or comments, just silence. Say Cheese posted a poll asking if Lil Durk did Vaughn dirty, and more than 70% of people clicked yes. Industry insiders began speculating that Durk was under pressure from behind the scenes, that his label told him to lie, and that this silence sparked even more discussion. Some fans claimed it was because he was hurt, while others said it was out of guilt. Polo G unfollowed him. Lil Reese tweeted a mysterious "Fun Durk. Is mysterious funny how people switch?" And even musicians he used to get along with began acting aloof. Lo, that the tidy image he had created after Vaughn's death was crumbling. And mysterious funny and Lil Baby. He remained silent. But he took a Durk song out of his account a few hours after the incident occurred. Meanwhile, back in Chicago, street tensions began to rise as Vaughn murals were being vandalized in neighborhoods associated with Durk's former block. And one admirer even uploaded a video stating, "Durk can't come back here no more." People are angry. People were picking sides, so it didn't matter if that was genuine or merely a case of pursuing online influence. What about Asian Doll? Her place in this story was only becoming more complex. "I'm not perfect," she said in an emotional outburst. "Vaughn and I experienced highs and lows. However, I always rode for him, even if it meant losing everything. He told me things that scared me about people around him, about money, about betrayal," she stated. Staring straight into the camera, "I didn't talk about it at the time, but perhaps I ought to have." The fans felt conflicted. As the sole advocate for Vaughn, she was viewed by some as the voice of truth. Others accused her of attempting to salvage her reputation from his legacy by clout chasing. In response to a fan's tweet asking, "If you truly loved him, why wait till now?" And no, Asian said bluntly, "Because you weren't ready. But now you're listening." Then, the previously unseen video from an Atlanta hotel security camera the previous evening was released. They killed Vaughn. Although it didn't show the shooting, it did show Vaughn pacing, seeming irate, and talking to someone on the phone. There was no audio, but a source claiming to be from the hotel said Vaughn was shouting, "He set me up. He told me it was cool out here. This isn't cool." Fans assumed he was referring to Durk right away. And for some admirers, that clip's viral success was the last straw. The comment, "This ain't no coincidence," was posted. "There seems to be a setup here." At that point, Durk's crew uploaded a chilly, well-crafted reply to his tale in response. "My family and my peace are my top priorities. The rest is just noise. Just quiet. No feeling, no name." However, there was noise in the streets. Oblak was humming. Every day, Vaughn's relatives were saving lives. Out of the woodwork came old pals. According to 808 Mafia Slim, one of Vaughn's producers, Durk prevented Vaughn from abandoning a particular project prior to his passing. It was too uncooked. He was exposing too much, Slim claimed. Slim simply stated the facts when asked what was included in the project. The things that no one wanted to see. The music's release was demanded by fans. Esra Vaughn's Vault and similar hashtags and Hanlet's rap became popular overnight. YouTube conspiracy videos were dissecting every message and every lyric. Individuals were making connections between non-existent dots. However, that was irrelevant. They lit the fire. Even Van's normally secretive mother shared a single picture of Van along with a comment. He made an effort to alert you. It was straightforward, but cool. Durk continued to remain silent. Asian, meanwhile, pledged to provide evidence shortly. She included audio notes, SMS, and screenshots in a string of since-deleted tweets. It will come directly from Van's mouth to you. However, her account went black before she could go live again. Fans conjectured that she was either silenced or hacked. Some even claimed that Durk's crew called her and told her to stop. The true story is unknown. And just as it looked like everything could be settled, a fresh name came up in the conversation. And just as it looked like everything could be settled, a fresh name came up in the conversation. Someone no one anticipated. Someone who, up until now, had remained silent while seeing the spectacle from the shadows. Von's dad. Von's dad. Yes, Von's the same parent about whom the majority of fans knew very little. He had avoided the limelight and the pandemonium on the internet until now. However, he unexpectedly made an appearance on the Truth from the Trenches podcast. Let's also add that he arrived with sorrow, anger, and receipts. With a voice full of grief, he remarked, "They're using my son's name like a brand." But when he was living, didn't anyone tell it as it was? Not the industry, not the label, not Durk. These people all display affection now. When he called for assistance, where was that love? There was silence in the room. The host appeared shaken. Van's father wasn't merely expressing his feelings. He was cool, collected, and lucid. He continued, "I made an effort to contact Von prior to his death. Fans who watched the interview went crazy when I tried to caution him. Watch who you keep around you. Snakes don't always hiss. Some of them sing." Particularly when he said this. Von wasn't just referring Abias to the operations when he said, "Pops, they don't love me. They love what I bring." He was referring to those with whom he had a broken relationship. Fans played the video 100 times. Some people sobbed, some became irate, and some went directly to Lil Durk's page, where they deluged his comments with heartbreak, snake emojis, and one terrifying phrase. He informed us. However, the tale didn't stop there. A few hours after the interview, Van's close friend Lil Moody, who goes by Lil Moody in Atlanta, went live on Instagram and supported all of the father's statements. However, he took it a step farther. He asserted Durk Todurk, a feature that may have transformed Van's life, was personally blocked. Von had an agreement with a well-known artist. I won't reveal who it was, but know that it was significant. Paperwork was prepared according to Lil Moody. The man was prepared to take him out. Then the phone rang. "The deal is gone." Von was furious. "I know who blocked that," he informed me bluntly. Commenters were quick to draw connections, so I'm not even surprised. Some people thought Meek Mill was the huge artist. Post Malone was the guess of others. In any case, the charge was grave and gave fans a more negative impression of Durk than they had previously had. To make matters worse, a DM screenshot purportedly from Von to one of his friends was released, in which he said, "They don't want me to shine unless I'm under them. I can't win. I'm too real for this artificial love." Asian Doll and family weren't the source of the screenshot. A fan account claimed to have gotten it anonymously and uploaded it. And because the language and tones sounded like Von, supporters believed it. He'd been telling y'all. Asian uploaded it, and that's when Lil Durk finally said something. However, not with a live interview, nor with a single cryptic sender. Send a tweet. It unnerved false folks. You ever send "Have you been so real"? No names, no tags, no justifications. The internet took off. Did he have self-defense? Was Von being called a phony? Was the family in question? No one was aware, although everybody had a viewpoint. Another fan sent a meme of Van shaking his head with the message, "Bro, watching all this from the sky, Lee have you ski isk. I warned y'all." Asian Doll replied to the tweet with the simple words, "Too late." Naturally, Caleb B wasn't keeping silent either. One fan said, "Nah, Durk Gasky is Durk, is lighting us at this point." Half these people clout demons. They ain't no Vodurk iceberg like we did, she said in a voice message that she placed on her close friend's story. When it counted, they weren't present. However, shortly after, Von's cousin Moan shared her own experience, saying, "Who you vogue, who are fooling sis. When he called for assistance, you were in Miami and occupied. Do not begin now. It was friend against friend and family against family." King Von's legacy had turned into a battlefield. Bloggers began to take sides as well. Asian, some said, was being honest in revealing something fans had never seen before. She was accused by others of seeking attention. However, the reality went beyond influence. This had to do with allegiance, silence, and the folks who stood by grinning while watching a star burn out. The voicemail followed. A blurry screen capture of a voicemail purportedly made by Von to a close friend or relative was shared online via an unidentified account. Within it, he sounded worn out, quiet, like he had been crying. "I feel like I'm all alone in this shut. Who air hot," he stated. The video was removed within minutes, but not before it went viral. "I got fans, money, Juhat money, and Dalry. But I ain't money, and Dant got Danthavina one of Inyon, I trust. I thought Durk had me. But he movin' Yane wasn't funny. I'ma just stick he wasium, just going toto myself. Who do you think reposted it? Little Ree. Who do you think reposted it? Little Ree. Fax I'm just going to fax S. The one word he inserted. At that point, everything changed. It was no longer only Van's family against Durk, or Asian Doll against Kayla. It was now evident that several members of Durk's inner circle were doubting his commitment and reputation. The rap game just turned into Game of Thrones. Fax Thrones, tweeted one journalist. Thrones, journalist. And just when you thought nothing else could happen, boom, Asian Doll returned to life. However, she brought evidence this time. Voice notes, text messages, screenshots of her and Von's discussions, her and his manager's conversations, and even messages that suggested friction between Von and Lil Durk weeks before the deadly night. Durk is changing things up. Von allegedly wrote in one text, "I ain't not going to Atlanta to party. I'm gone because I'm not because I need space." Additionally, Asian played a voice note. "I love you, bro, but I can't keep ignoring you," Van's voice said. Fans were in disbelief by this time. "I see it now. I know what's real." Everyone had the same feeling, but no one knew what to believe. All along, something was strange, and now it was being brought into the open. "I thought this was just about beef, but now I realize it's about betrayal," one fan wrote in their comment. And that heartbreak, that confusion was only about to grow because within 24 hours of Asian Doll's explosive live, the final bombshell hit, and it came from the last person anyone expected. King Von's own manager, Tracker. Up until now, Track had remained mostly silent. Another wrote, "I'm just heartbroken, not angry. Durk and Von were supposed to be forever. I held my tongue for too long," he said. "But I'm not going to let people twist the narrative." He did a few interviews after Von's death, speaking mainly in general terms about the loss, never naming names and never stirring the pot. But after seeing his name in one of Asian's leaked texts and being accused of blocking moves that could have changed Von's career, he lost it. He went live on YouTube for almost an hour, pacing back and forth, his voice tight with emotion. "Every day I was with Von. When no one else was around, every day. Yes, I was. Yes, I was." After pausing, he turned to face the camera. "Asian, you're brave. You were a ghost when Von was alive, but now you want to play rescuer. Only when the lights are on do you come around." The statement portion exploded right away. In real time, fans were picking sides. Some were expressing gratitude to Track for speaking up at last. He wasn't finished with the accusations of deflecting. Did they have problems? Durk responded, "Yeah, things weren't perfect, but you're painting this like he wanted Von gone. That's a lie. Indeed. Show me a pair in this sector that don't, though. Von is not flawless. Durk isn't flawless. However, don't alter history to suit your own fantasy. Then he revealed the twist that nobody had anticipated. In actuality, Vaughn intended to abandon us all. Durk, the management, the label. He was finished. Engaging in gaming. He desired authority. The fans stopped. Was that the true cause of all this conflict? Had there been a quiet backlash to Vaughn's choice to become independent? Did he feel alone because of that? The theories exploded because many around him began to treat him more like a threat than a brother. According to one YouTube channel, Durk even attempted to purchase Vaughn's library before his death, but Vaughn turned him down. Fans continued to believe it despite the lack of evidence. Caleb B. fueled the flames with another voice note leak, while Asian Doll responded with her own account, saying, "Ain't nobody twisting nothing. You're just mad. I won't stay quiet." This one purports to show Vaughn and someone bickering over the phone. The tone was heated and the voice sounded like his. "I will no longer sign. Put an end to sending others to speak with me. I'm going out once again." There were no names mentioned. Fans, however, were persuaded. He was referring to Lil Durk or a close friend. The comment sections have turned into battlegrounds. A fan remarked, "This isn't even a music beef anymore. This is a story about trust, betrayal, and real-life pain." Others demanded that a full documentary be made, telling the true tale instead of the diluted version that the industry was trying to promote. And Lil Durk disrupted the internet just as everyone believed the truth had finally been revealed. For the first time since the turmoil began, he went live. For the first minute, however, he sat in silence rather than shouting or defending himself. Just Durk, no entourage, no jewels, no ostentatious background. Eyes down, hoodie on. His voice was cracked by the time he spoke. His words, "this_hurt." The comments came too quickly to read. "I'm not perfect. I lost my brother. And maybe I didn't show it the way you wanted me to. But don't ever question what we had." While some were calling cap and others were dropping broken hearts, Durk persisted. Vaughn was unique. He possessed a heart. Despite his wild nature, he was fiercely devoted. We had problems. Yes, but true brothers act in that manner. We quarrel. We make it right. Or we make an effort. He hesitated once more. "I will not sit here and explain all the rumors. I'm not responding to any phony direct messages, ghost tweets, no conspiracies on YouTube because you weren't there." Supporters were divided. His pain was sensed by others. It was too little, too late, according to others. Then he said something that made the conversation stop. "Vaughn left me a voicemail before he departed. Just know that he doesn't hate me and that I will never betray him. I haven't played it for anyone else because it's for me. You'll believe what you want, but I know it's real," he said as he concluded the live stream. Vaughn also does. Within an hour, Asian sent a single message in response. He gave me a different explanation. The following day, Van's mother spoke up once more. She wrote, "The truth lives in the ones who were there, not the ones who came later. My son died with pain in his heart, and that's all I must say." In an Instagram post featuring a flashback photo of Vaughn as a newborn, it was brief, but the room trembled. "This isn't drama. This is trauma," was a tweet from a fan, and it was accurate. This was more than just an industry catastrophe. It was pain from real life entangled with money, ego, and lost opportunities. A city still recovering, a legacy in doubt, and a young king lost. Soon after, Vaughn's murals were repainted with "Long Live the Real." In Atlanta, a fan-organized candlelight vigil was held. There were hundreds. A few people sobbed. The excitement was unadulterated, even though some people stood silently and others played his music loudly. Grieving was no longer the only thing to do. The goal was to recover the truth. Through one of its original posts, O'Block even made an unusual declaration. "Give the man some time to relax. Quit talking about things you don't know." But Asian didn't pause. "A Talal book might be on the horizon," she hinted. She wrote, "I have more stories than you can possibly imagine. Not sugarcoating anything either." Track to present his perspective. Van's management started a different documentary project. Durk fell silent once more. Just silence, no appearances, no posts. And there is still disagreement among enthusiasts. According to some, Durk did his best. Some claim that he left Vaughn when it counted most. Asians are commended by some for speaking up. Some claim she's making money off of suffering. In actuality, it's most likely in the middle. However, this cannot be disputed. King Von's legacy will never be the same. Not because of the music or the rivalry, but rather because those closest to him, those he loved, trusted, and battled for, cannot even agree on his true identity. A king lost amid the royal room's cacophony. We are therefore left with a single pressing question that lingers like smoke in the midst of all the voice notes, voice receipts, live streams, and leaked texts. What actually transpired between King Von and Lil Durk? Was it a betrayal of brothers, or was it simply a misunderstanding stoked by suffering, pressure, and celebrity? In the end, was Asian Doll the only one riding for Von? Or did she leap into the flames to ensure her reputation would endure? And why is Van's family now divided between open mistrust, grief, and silence? The truth is hazy, but the streets are talking. Furthermore, it's possible that the complete narrative will never be revealed. Perhaps the most realistic aspects of this circumstance perished with Vaughn that evening in Atlanta. We do know, however, that the legacy is broken. Accusations now surround a brotherhood that once appeared untouchable. Fans are left attempting to determine what is genuine, since the picture of love and loyalty has been tarnished by uncertainty. Who has been hidden behind smiles the entire time? And what is Cap? We would like to hear from you now, though. Do you believe that Vaughn was truly deceived by Lil Durk? Or is this just grief-twisted internet noise? Did Asian Doll act authentically or reaching? And with all of the turmoil surrounding Van, will his legacy still be able to shine? Leave a comment below with your opinions. Don't be shy. We read everything. To ensure you don't miss the next in-depth discussion, please press the bell symbol. Like this video and subscribe if you're still rocking with us through this roller coaster. We don't just discuss the news. That's one thing about us. We explore what they would prefer you not to see. Until the next time, remain awake. Keep yourself safe and shut in. They locked in. Keep yourself safe and shut in. They locked in.